Summary of the Sculptor's Funeral by Willa Cather. The narrative of the sculptor's funeral tells the story of a sculptor who goes back to his village to be buried. He left his hometown when he was a young man in order to pursue his sculpting career. The night train bringing Harvey Merrick's body breaks up the soft, smoke-colored stillness as it speeds through snow-covered fields. It arrives at the station in Sand City, Kansas. Harvey's loyal assistant, Henry Stevens, is the only one who brings his body home from Boston. It surprises Stevens to see that the men waiting for the box are not Harvey's friends or family. Instead, they are men from the town. Stevens pulls up to the Merrick family home in the hearse because he doesn't want to give up his master's body. While acting very sad, Harvey's mother runs outside and starts shrieking about her son's death before the pallbearers can even bring the box inside. When they bring Harvey's body into the room, they arrange it with overstuffed furniture and gaudy trinkets that have nothing to do with Harvey or his work. Mr. Merrick is more embarrassed by his wife's over-the-top behavior, so he can't bring himself to look in his child's grave until she storms out of the room. Martin Merrick tells Jim Laird that his dead son Harvey was always a good boy, but no one could understand him. He does this while tenderly touching Harvey's face. Stevens hears from the local drunk and sneaky lawyer Jim Laird that Harvey's mother made his childhood unhappy. The two men overhear Mrs. Merrick severely hitting Roxy, the Merrick's housekeeper, which proves her habit of badly treating others. Stevens wants to leave the house with what was left of Harvey because he is getting sick thinking about the horrible things that must have happened to his master as a child. Instead, he looks at Jim's face with the kind of interested eyes that only artists have. As the service goes on, Jim asks Stevens if Harvey was always an oyster, since he was quiet and shy as a child. Harvey's pupil talks about how he generally doesn't trust other people and how dedicated he is to his work and to believing the best in people, even though he doesn't seem interested in getting involved with them. These two guys may have known Harvey better than anyone else. They think he is an artist who needs his own group. Harvey unlocked the natural beauty of everything he touched, making marble look more beautiful. After the family goes to bed, Jim leaves the room. This gives Stevens a chance to see how people from Sand City live. People from the town cram into the room and talk about what's going on in their area. The people in the town don't tell sweet stories about Harvey as a young boy. Instead, they each give their own reason why Harvey wasn't such a great man. They thought Harvey was bad with money, too smart, not realistic, not paying attention, and reported to be an alcoholic. Stevens can't believe these mean stories about his highly regarded master as he listens to them. He wonders how these people could possibly believe them. After hearing all of these bad things said about Harvey, Jim goes back into the room and starts yelling at the people of the town. Jim says that when people in Sand City mourned the deaths of other people, they told similar mean things about the person who had died. He and Harvey both went to school in the East. Jim returned to his hometown to become the lawyer that people wanted him to be, while Harvey stayed in the East to become the artist that he wanted to be. Jim stands up to the townspeople's harsh accusations because he wants Stevens to remember Harvey for who he really was. Over the fact that he hasn't used all of his ability, Jim calls Sand City a town which may God have mercy. After this angry rant against the town, Jim shakes Stevens' hand and they walk away. After the service, Stevens tries to get in touch with Jim to get back in touch, but he never hears back from him. Jim gets a cold and dies while helping one of the banker's sons get out of trouble with the law for cutting down government trees.
About the author. Willa Cather was born in Virginia's Back Creek Valley in 1873. She lived in Willow Shade for the first 9 years of her life. The Cather family moved to Nebraska to get away from the tuberculosis spread in Virginia. They joined other family members who were already living on the border. Cather was raised in Red Cloud, Nebraska, where the harsh environment and the chance to learn about different Native and European cultures changed her. In order to become a doctor, Cather went to the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Because some of her writing was getting published, Cather changed her subject and got her degree in English. The next year, she went to Pittsburgh and worked as a teacher and reporter. The Troll Garden, 1905, Cather's first collection of short stories came out in McClure's magazine. Cather's first job as a successful editor was with McClure's in 1906. In the years that followed, she wrote a lot. Her Prairie trilogy, O Pioneers! 1913, The Song of the Lark, 1915, and My Antonia, 1918, were all well received by critics. Cather is more than just a writer from the area. Her book One of Ours, which won the Pulitzer Prize in 1923, solidified her place in the American literary tradition. Cather never got married, but she had close friendships with other women. Cather spent the last 40 years of her life living with editor Edith Lewis. Cather died in New York City at the age of 73.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.